So in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to use overlays in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, I've downloaded several great overlay assets from Pixabay, which is an online asset library. So do go and check out Pixabay. In Premiere, I've already imported all of the overlays in, and I've also got a video here that I'm going to use to demonstrate. So I'm going to put my video on the timeline down here, and it's a video of a guy dancing on a street scene. So here's our video that we're going to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a few different overlays over the top so we can see what effect the different overlays have. I've also got a music track. I'm just going to drop that beneath there. So the first overlay then that I'm going to show you is a bokeh overlay. So let's get our bokeh, and what we can do is we're going to drag the overlay onto the layer, the video track above our video. So we've got a video on track 1 of Premiere, and we're putting the overlay on track 2. Now, when I hit play, we can't see the video anymore, we can only see the overlay. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go into the effect properties for the overlay, and we're going to change how it interacts with the layer below. So I'm going to switch my workspace to the editing workspace, and then under the effect controls here, and under effect controls then I'm going to go to opacity. I'm going to open up opacity. So opacity is basically how transparent the layer is, and if I turn it down all the way to 0, you can see straight through it, and all the way to 100 you can't see through it at all. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the blend mode. Now there's loads of different blend modes that we can use in Premiere, and they all define how the two layers interact in terms of colours, lightness and darkness. So that's the darken one. I'm actually going to go for a lighten or colour dodge blend mode, I think. And now we can see through there, but we've still got these bokehs all over the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the opacity of those down so that I've got them visible, but they're not too distracting. So there we go. So we're using the lighten blend mode here to allow us to see through the bokeh to the layer below. So that's our first overlay that we've got there, a bokeh effect. So let's try a different one of our overlays. So I'm going to go back into my assembly workspace. Let's find the rain one. So I'm going to drag a rain effect on now. So again, drag the overlay onto the video track above your video. At first you won't be able to see through it. You need to go to effect controls, go to your blend mode here, play around with the blend modes until you find one that works and gives you the effect you want. So I'm going to go screen. There we go, we've got our rain effect. Now, what we could do to make that rain effect even more pronounced here is we could add an adjustment layer over the top. So what I need to do is go back to my project. I'm going to make a new adjustment layer. I'm going to use this adjustment layer to do a grade just over the top of where this overlay is. So I'm going to grade over the top of both sets of footage rather than the video itself. I'm going to the color workspace, and in color I'm going to go into basic correction, color. I'm going to make the color temperature colder, so drag the cold slider over. I'm going to desaturate it as well, and it gives that cold, miserable effect that we all know so well from being out in the rain. There we go. So we've got a rain overlay here with a simple adjustment layer with a simple bit of color grading on to make it colder and wetter and darker looking. And at the front here, we've got an overlay with some bokeh here over the top. Again, we could add another adjustment layer over the top here, and we could use that adjustment layer to enhance the grade for the bokeh effect. So here I might up the saturation and warm up the clip, introduce a little bit of contrast. Got a bit more of a dreamy kind of party kind of vibe. Let's do this CCTV effect. Here we go. We've got a CCTV style camera here. So again, let's go into effect controls, change the blend mode. We'll go linear dodge on this one so you can see. So we've got our CCTV overlay, but again, I think we need to add an adjustment layer over the top just to complete the effect. Let's make this your classic kind of matrix style cool green CCTV. So select your adjustment layer, go back to color, and the luminetry panel over here, let's add a green tint. Let's turn the color temperature down. Let's turn contrast down. So we've got a CCTV style effects there. I think we could go further though. So we're going to go into the effects panel now, and in the effects, the first thing to do is we're going to find posterize time. So I'm typing in posterize time, and under the time, under video effects time, there's posterize time. But first, I'm going to use my razor to just cut out the video of the dancing man underneath so that it just lines up with the CCTV effect. Drag posterize time onto there. And then over here in your effect control window, I'm going to change the frame rate to 12 frames a second. Now what that's going to do is it's going to change the effect that the time has for frame rate. So rather than being 24 frames a second, it now goes glitchy like CCTV. And I think what we could do here as well is we can add some noise just to really create that CCTV effect. I'm going to drag the noise onto our video clip there. And again, under effect controls then, let's put the noise up. And then let's have a look. Now Premiere has recently added some really cool effects to its effects panel. So I want to show you a couple of those and use those on here. So first of all, if we go to video effects and then go down to film impact here, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a look for focus blur. So this first one where we've got the bokeh, I'm going to add a focus blur onto our dancing man here. So drag the focus blur effect onto the video of the dancing man. And then we can change then how soft the blur is, how blurry it is. And I'm going to add that on there. And now we can see our dancing man, that first one. Shuttering frame rate in the second, and then we've got the cold dark rain at the third. We can even stack overlays on top of overlays. I'd quite like to add a glitch effect over the top of that. This is the glitch effect. We've got to select it, go into effect controls, and then we're going to change that blend mode until we find the one that works. And then let's have a look how that looks now. Yeah, that's cool. So don't be afraid to try stacking overlays on top of overlays until you get the effects that you want. So we can see one video clip, but by adding on 3 different overlays and a little bit of a grade over the top and a couple of effects, we can drastically change how our footage looks and feels.